Poor change order management is going to be costing you profit on your projects. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through a system to increase the speed at which you approve change orders, increase the speed at which you build change orders, and make sure you don't miss change orders so it doesn't impact the profitability of your projects. By the way, if you're a commercial general contractor doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue, and you would like systems to increase the profitability of your projects, check out the link in the description below. Get access to our blueprint and diagnosis. We can help you build systems just like this. So, as you can see here, I am in a system called Monday.com. The system doesn't matter so much. The process does, however. As I'm sure you know, change orders get forgotten, they get missed, you eat the cost, or you're slow to approve them, or you're slow to build them, causing cash flow issues. This system mitigates and massively reduces the opportunity for change orders to be missed, forgotten about, or you being slow to build them. And then we can track the revenue generated from change orders by subby, also by project. And we've got other data points as well, such as who's responsible for managing these change orders. So as you can see, we've got this requested change orders, in review change orders. We essentially have a change order process here. Now, the idea being that every new change order comes in via a form. This is our very basic change orders form. Of course, this can be adapted to how you operate as a business. But you would submit the relevant information, such as the name, the project reference number, the estimated change order value, and then a change order description. Everyone in your business or who's associated with your business will submit this change orders form. So if you get a phone call, if you get an email, if you're on site, you complete this form and you do this for as many change orders as required. Because the problem is change orders get forgotten about, people have conversations about things, but if they don't get logged, that means that you eat the cost of those change orders, and as a consequence, the profitability of your projects goes down, and we do not want that to happen. So we use this form to capture the information. Now, of course, we can add additional data points associated with this change orders form to be more nuanced to your business, but the idea is when they complete a new change order, it creates a new record or new item on our change orders process. It automatically assigns the project manager associated with that particular project. It links to that particular project again automatically, and then we can easily see the change order value, the description of the change order, and any files associated with the change order as well, if they needed to take screenshots, take photos or anything else, and then upload it. So a new change order would hypothetically come in, and then the person that's responsible can then manage the process of the change order. So that it's requested, and then they'll change the status to in review, and that will move it to the group in review. And then we can see all of the change orders in review. I can see we've got a change order for project one of $250,000, and that's assigned to me. I'm responsible for that particular change order. And then we've got Alex, where there's a £180,000 or $180,000 change order associated with project number 2. And I can very, very easily see the status of these change orders, preventing things from being missed and making sure that we're on top of things. So let's hypothetically say, yeah, I've approved this particular change order. I'm all good to go. I can then change this to approved. Now, this will then trigger a billing request or a billing handoff to tell the finance team that this particular change order has been approved and that we then need to raise an invoice for this. And then once the invoice has been paid, we can change the status to billed. So that means that that particular invoice or that particular change order, has been billed. The entire process has been taken care of. So ultimately, we're going from requested to in review. Once it's been reviewed, it's either approved or declined. And then once it's approved, we then trigger finance to take care of their stuff. And then once it's been billed and paid for, we can then either automatically update the status or manually update the status to say that that particular change order has now been billed. And we can go ahead and select that as the option. So that's the nice, easy process, okay? Hypothetically, anyway. Now, this process obviously keeps tabs on everything that's going on. We can filter our change orders by our different projects as well. So if I just want to see all of our change orders for project number 1, I can do. I can see that we've had 2. And you can see here, again, if I change this to, let's say, project number 2, I'd be able to see all of my change orders for project number 2. I can see that there's 1 in review and there's 1 that's been billed, and I can see the value associated with these. But the process is nice. And obviously, having all change orders condensed into one place means we can actively manage it. Less change orders are delayed in billing, being approved, and there are less change orders that are going to be missed, meaning you do not eat the cost of those change orders, which is all very, very important. And this is why we need a system for this type of thing. But in addition to this, and this is where it gets slightly more exciting, is we then have a dashboard associated with our change orders. Now, I've positioned everything on the left-hand side because obviously my big head is in the way, but we can then see the average change order value. We can see approved but not billed change orders. So how much money is left to come in or still to come in. So if I then change the status of this one to approved but not billed, which means that the change order is good to go, we've just not been paid for it yet, then I can see that there's $800,000 worth of approved change orders and not been paid. We've got the average time to bill a change order. So from a change order coming in to it being billed, how long does it take? You can see here it's 28 days. We've also got our build versus decline change orders. So we can see here that 66.7% are approved versus 33% declined. This is essentially a sales pipeline. So that's kind of what change orders are. So you can see our conversion metrics for our change orders. And then we can see our change order value by project manager per month. So I can see that I have generated $180,000 worth of change orders in July, and Alex has had a behemoth month of $800,000. And I can see that in August, I generated $250,000 worth of change orders. So I can see who internally or the project manager associated with our projects or whoever is generating the most amount of revenue for our change orders. Also, this is quite important because if you know that there are a lot of change orders associated with a particular project, but the project manager has not logged anything and it's suspiciously low, then you can flag that and say, well, we've got all of these change orders. Why have you not billed for them? Because they've not been put in Monday.com. Are we eating the cost? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Conversations like that. If you can't report on the information, then you won't know what's happening. We've then got change order value by project. So we can see here we've had $430,000 of change orders for project 1 and $980,000 for project number 2. This is always going to be very, very helpful information. We've then got change order status by project. So I can see that we've got 800,000 approved and 180,000 in review for project number 2, whereas we've billed 430,000 for project number 1. So I can see we've still got 800,000 for project number 2 to come in. So this will show me all of my projects and then the status of the change orders associated with those projects at a glance very, very easily. I then got change order count by project. So the number of change orders that have come in by project, how required that is, that's entirely up to you. We've then got build change orders per month by value by project. So I can see here that project number 1 has had $180,000 worth of change orders and project number 2 in August has had $250,000. Now, if we've got additional ones, we'll be able to see that as well. So if I go to change order, you can see they're both project number 1. If I change this to build, that's project number 2, that will then update this here, or at least it should. Where has it gone? Is it going to pull through? Let's just check. See, there, it's moved down now. So it should pull through. So yes, it has now. So you can see that build change orders per month by value by project, 800,000. So we can see here that we've had 800,000 worth of change orders for project number 2 in July, and we had 180,000 for project number 1 in July, and then in August 250,000. And then we got change orders per month by value by project. That's build, sorry, whereas this is total amount that's come in. And then we got change orders per month by value. So this is just the total value of change orders on a monthly basis, irrespective of the project manager, irrespective of the project as well. Now, these reports are obviously really, really helpful. It gives you an insight into what's going on with your change orders, and these can be customized to suit your business as well. So if there's certain data points that you want to see associated with your change orders, then stuff like this can be easily set up, tweaked, and optimized for you. Now, we're not finished because all of our change orders get associated with our projects, which means that if we go to our projects board, which we have set up here, I can see at a glance the status of all of our change orders associated with our projects. I can see that project number 1, everything's been billed for. Project number 2, one's in review and one's been billed. I can see the CO value, so total change order value. I can see the approved change orders, I can see the build change orders, and then I can see the decline change orders. So if I go to this particular change order and change the status of this to declined, you will see here that we've had 980,000 of total change order value, but we had 180,000 decline. So I can easily see what's going on. And then also if we've got approved but not billed, we'd be able to see the outstanding balance for our change orders for that particular project, just at a glance here, making managing change orders so much easier, and as a consequence more profitable, because you're less likely to miss, or you're highly unlikely to miss change orders. You're going to speed up the time in which you bill for change orders, which means that you're more profitable in your projects and you've got better cash flow. And I mean, depending on how you do things, you can give commission to project managers where they're finding changes as well, if that's how you operate. But this is kind of a basic setup, at least, of change order management for general contractors. I mean, this is specifically for commercial GCs doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue. If you'd like us to help you build systems just like this for your business, check out the link in the description below. You need to get a diagnosis. We'll come up with a plan of action on how stuff like this could work for you, and then we will build it for you. But this is a decent setup. I think it's a really good setup, in fact, of managing the change order process, the reporting associated with your change orders, and then just being able to see at a glance change orders by project, your revenue, change order revenue by project, your approved, your billed, your declined, and then also not to mention like RFI status associated with projects as well. But that's a separate conversation for a separate day. Anyway, hopefully this video has been interesting, insightful. If you are a commercial GC doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue, you'd like systems like this, get access to the blueprint using the link in the description below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.